Yo. Alright, another update. On the commits recently, what was it last night? What was I even doing? Oh, I fixed the keybinds and then I added interaction, page dropping and left and right and whatnot. And then I also fixed that. Okay. So recently what I've been doing is adding controller support. So now I can create games. You can see that the controller's letting me do whatever I want here, right? We can find games and do this. There aren't going to be any results here, and I'll have to update this, but so that way if someone's searching, I haven't configured it to work for those individual little server results yet, but I'll do that later when I'm actually doing the multiplayer part of this. And then now, so you can create game, and then focus is added to this new widget, and we can set the game to be whatever, and then focus is set to be the team selector because it's initiated from the other widget, and then we can just say no team or team 2 for now, sure. And then oh, actually, oh, I didn't notice that. Oh yeah, by the way, so looking around and everything works, jumping and shit. I mean, what this looks like here is this. So the wizard's body doesn't look up and down physically yet. I'll add that eventually, but yeah, so this works. Sensitivity works. I could go. One thing is that I need to make this back button here or spanning the whole distance, because right now this thing is middle aligned, this is left aligned, so I can't get to here from here, and if I started here I can't get to here. So I had to do what I did here, which is I just put the back button spanning the entire thing. That way if I'm on this button I can go down to it, if I'm on this one I can go down to it, and that's it. So we can do any of the graphics, we can adjust these live. I can adjust any of this shit, resolution. Right. So, sick. The controls work too, so I could go in here and then I can't type into here with the controller, but I can go here and then set this. So we were at decently low sense, now we're on higher. Now we're on, well, we'll go even higher. I wish there was an even faster way of doing this, but, oh, actually, okay, interesting. I need to fix this. Focus is lost when I do that. Interesting. So if I click here, oh, actually, oh wait, it's actually fine. Maybe? No. I need to fix that so that if I click outside of here, it adds focus to the correct thing. There's a little bug with that right now, and that happens elsewhere too. So in here, the keybinds work, but one thing is that I can't rebind the buttons because buttons are different than keys. And the same process to rebind, or the process to rebind buttons is apparently different, or at least it's not immediately working, so I'm probably gonna have to add extra logic to rebind buttons. And so, like right now we can go to these two bottom buttons, I can reset them all. I can go back to keybinds. And the problem is that right now, you can't see where my cursor is. You can see where I'm pressing, but you can't see what I'm hovering over until I get finally down to the bottom again. And there's a setting I can turn on to fix that, but like you can see this. So when I go from one of these individual widgets to the next, it doesn't immediately highlight the next. But if I navigate within that one, it'll highlight its stuff, but not going between them. So I have to fix that. So I have a debug thing right now telling me when it's received focus, but it's not happening how I thought. So I'm watching more of this tutorial, but resetting all works, but I can't bind anything. So if I do this, like I can press a keybind, sure, but I can't press other keys. So those are not bound. Oh yeah, now we're on super high sensitivity. I need to add a reset button to this too. So, but that's it. That's it for now, but I gotta keep going and fix more of that shit. How it works basically is I had to go into the designer for all of my various widgets, and in them find the buttons, or really, I mean, really you don't have to do it for the buttons, but like you could just find it by going to the entire widget and typing in focusable, and then you'll find it. But there might be some things you don't want to be able to focus, like editable text or something. You might not want that to be. Actually, yeah, shouldn't I do that actually? I think in the controls, in the sensitivity text, I can't change this because I can focus this. I don't know why. I don't know what this is. Display the, oh wait. Display the virtual keyboard? On all focus events? Wait a minute, wait, this could be good. If I can actually type it in, I was wanting to add a virtual keyboard, but I didn't know if I would have to make that myself or what, which I can do, but it's not a major priority. Oh, I was hoping. Yeah, I don't know how that'll work, but because we gained focus here, but I don't know how that's actually gonna work. So whatever, I'll disable that so I don't fuck with it. I don't know how that's gonna go. Clear keyboard focus. I mean, that makes sense, but maybe it's a different type of keyboard focus than I'm thinking. I mean, it says virtual keyboard, so I'm assuming it's like a visual thing, but like where you can go and move your controller around to type in the keys. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, because if you wanted to type in the sensitivity on a controller, then you'd have to do that, so I'll have to add that. But most of this stuff works. I just have to fix the keybind stuff and then make it so that you can rebind the buttons, and then like right here I can fix this button right now by just making this span the entire range, and then I need to make it so that there's an actual, like I need to check to see when these things have been focused, and when they are, update the visuals like this instead of it being this tiny little blue thing, because that'll be the fix for that. Because obviously it's selecting it because I can do all of these, but you can't see the blue little visual thing. And I don't want to always have the blue visual thing on, because then even if you don't have a controller plugged in, one of them, the default one, because you have to set which one you want it to be focusing by default. So like for here, it's the graphics button, the top button I have set by default. Oh, and let me make sure this works. Nice, the back button works, so we can get there like this. Cool. And so obviously I can change these, but it's not showing me that they're focused like the reset button and the back buttons down there. So if I could just enable that, then sick. But still just work in progress. But I can turn the game off, turn it on, all that kind of shit, so it's cool. Oh shit, I can actually, oh, I thought I could. It's like, damn, I could do Unreal with a keyboard or a controller, but okay. That's it. That's the intro to controller support. I'll show you a little about how it works. So whenever we create any of these widgets, I set focus to be on some default button that I think makes the most sense. I have comments like this on most of them if I didn't forget. Basically, whenever the widget's initially created, I want to set focus to the default button, which in this case is the first index of the widget switcher, which is this guy. And I want it to default to the continue button. So, excuse me, that's where I set focus to be. Excuse me, then we do all the regular ass logic. But anytime I'm navigating and I'm changing that widget switcher's index to go to settings or to go to graphics or controls or keybinds, etc., whenever we switch, I set it to focus on the button that it should. For example, whenever we go to graphics, I set it to just focus on the back button. And then we can go up and choose what we want. Or we can immediately go back. Or we go to controls. We start at the back button and then we can go up and set stuff. And then we start at back button and then we can go around and do all this shit. And then if I click back, then I also have to code that in. So if I click back on the keybinds, so if I click the back button from keybinds to controls, well, we set the focus back to the controls back button, and so on. You do that for all of them. You have to make sure that each of the buttons and things that you're using are focusable. So graphics, like the button to click this, it has to be focusable in order for the controller to go into it and focus on it. Because that's how it navigates. It sets focus to be a widget and then goes there. And that's what you can select. I didn't have to do anything with the buttons or anything specific. I did have to go into the inputs and then add in all these extras. So I added in the left thumb, or the left thumb for movement, the right thumb for look. This should just be called look instead of mouse look, but it's fine for now, not a biggie. Jump, I added in one of the buttons, did that for all the stuff, and I copied in the overrides so that way I can update them, but I don't know how that's actually going to work. I don't know how you override them, so I'll have to find out later. That's a problem for later. Now I just need to fix the navigation so that we can, if I'm in the middle of, I mean, it's not a big issue, but like, it works for here. If I click out of here, I can still come back to navigation. I click out of here again, I can re-enable focus just by pressing keys or pressing buttons. And so if I'm here, I can click out of here, and then I click, and then focus returns, and I can still play. I'm not stuck fully out of there. Right now the problem is that here, I'm fully stuck. I can't do anything because once I click out, if I click back in, the widget's good. But if I click out of the widget, oh yeah, it happens here too, then I can't do anything. I'm stuck. I can jump again. But if I click back into it, focus has been enabled and I can't jump anymore. Right? But the problem with that is if you click out, then you're fucked. You have to continue using the mouse to regain focus. So I could always turn it off, turn it back on, but I don't want to be some super ghetto indie game or whatever and it's all just busted. I'd rather it actually work. So that's it for now. Same thing for basically all of this. For the other ones, the other widgets, whenever you, what is it, mouse? I have it set so that if I click outside of the widget, the canvas panel, I do this in the master widget. So this is the master widget for the main menu, or the game menu. And so if I click outside of it, what I want to happen is that will register that I've clicked. And so on the mouse up, I want to reset focus to be the correct button for the widget switcher child that we're currently on. So currently there are 5 children. There's the main, and then there are graphics, controls, keybinds, and there's like main, and then there's settings, and then there are graphics, controls, keybinds. So continue is on main, graphics is one of the settings, the specific, or the back button of graphics, the back button for controls, the back button for keybinds. And I set focus to be on that one. That way when I click out and I release, it resets focus back. That way I can still use this. But right now it's not working for controls and keybinds. Not sure why, but I will fuck around until I find out. So that is the strategy for now. All right, bye-bye.